Hey, it's Doug from Rise Above Performance Training, and today I'm going to teach you how to do a Turkish Get Up and show you some of the tips and tricks to make it smooth, stable, and successful. Let's check it out. The Turkish Get Up is a sequence of movements bringing one's body from the floor to the standing position and back down. You can do it with body weight, you can do it with a dumbbell, you can do it with a kettlebell, even a sandbag. There's pretty much no limitation for what weight you can use to do these sequence of movements. The sequence of movements I'm going to show you today are going to be with the kettlebell, but you can extrapolate that out to use whatever type of equipment you want to use. Why would you want to do this? It is a great movement. It's kind of a grind movement where it's nice and slow and methodical, and it has a bunch of little movements in between. You're really going to expose your strengths and your weaknesses in this movement. Whether you can sit up well, or maybe not move laterally, or not hip bridge well, or shoulder endurance, you're going to find it all out in this exercise. So we're going to start with the first part of the movement, which is the sit-up or the get-up sit-up. I'm going to take my kettlebell, and I'm going to bring the weight to me by rolling on the side, grabbing underneath, and bringing it to me. That is the safest way to start. You can press it up with one arm if it's light, or use two arms to stabilize. I'm also going to pull my shoulder down into the socket. So I'll do it with my free arm. You can see I'm pulling my shoulder in the socket. That is a stable platform. Much like if you're dumbbell chest pressing or bench pressing, you want to lock it into the socket here. The side that's up, the bell, that is the leg that's up. This foot with the up leg is going to be about a shoe to a shoe and a half away from your hip. We don't want it too far because we're not going to get a lot of power, and we won't want it too close because we'll get jammed up. So I'm going to have about a foot or a shoe and a half away from my glutes. I'm going to turn my toe out slightly. This side, I like to have my hand on my leg and snow angel, I call it. I'm going to slide both my arm and my leg out, and they're approximately the same angle. So I don't want my leg in one position and my arm way out here. So again, a good way to start is slide and kind of line them up evenly. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push through this leg and roll cheek to cheek. Just practice that. That is the movement I want. It's not a direct sit-up. I'm sitting up at an angle towards my leg and my arm. So I'm going to roll cheek to cheek, and I'm going to pull with this arm subtly, keeping my chest up into the position. So cheek to cheek, pull, stabilize. I want a nice straight line between this bell and this elbow on the ground. And then I want to be stable at the top. And then I'm going to control my body down. When I control my body down, I'm going to use this leg. So roll, chest up, and control down. When I control down, I do not collapse the chest. I keep up and down. There we have the first part of the get up. It is a great exercise by itself using the core and shoulder stability. I recommend doing that one because it'll train your core and increase your shoulder endurance. Now, a little troubleshooting. If you're sitting up and this leg pops up, we want to do one of two things. One, we want to try to keep this leg down. We either have to lower the weight, or I got to extend through this heel as I sit up. So as I sit up, I'm going to extend hard through that heel to keep that leg down. The other thing to keep in mind, as I mentioned in the intro, is it's a grind or a slow movement. We're not going to pop straight up. We're going to have to really dig in with this foot here, push, and take our time to sit up. It's a slow, imagine like a slow, heavy gait coming up. Lastly, this arm is going to stay in its spot. It's not going to move forward. So I'm basically moving my chest and my hips in front of the arm, and the arm does not move very much. Now, the next part of the get up is the bridge. Now, I've seen few ways to do the bridge. With a high bridge, which would bring the hips up high, and I've seen just enough bridge to bring the leg through. I'm a proponent of the high bridge just because, one, it's locked out and stable. Two, it trains your glutes. And also, it's just a good way to train. I think if you can do a high bridge, you can always do a low bridge, but not the other way around. On a heavier weight, the bridge height might be a little bit lower, but on a weight like this, I can show you the high bridge pretty easily. So I'll set up again, bring my weight to me, bell up, lock the shoulder, leg up, foot about a shoe and a half away, snow angel out, same angle, and I'm going to roll cheek to cheek, pulling this arm in, extending through this leg, and sitting up. I'm going to stabilize this position. Now I'm going to get up on this hand. So I'm going to get up on this hand. I'm going to turn my fingertips back and pull my shoulder blade down. It'll feel like you're rolling it back, but think about pulling it down. Now I'm going to push through this foot and the hand, and that's the bridge. So again, one more time in real time. I'm going to go down the way I went up. Reset. 1, stabilized. Up on the hand, shoulder down. 2, bridge. From there, I should have enough strength to sweep my knee through in a triangle. I'm stable here, and then we'll go into the lunge. I'm going to tighten up and go into the lunge. So I'm going to put my bell down for a second so I can point out some details. Let's go back to the bridge. So I'm here. I'm going to bridge high. That allows this leg to be free. So I'm posted on my foot in my hand. I'm going to sweep this knee to this hand into a triangle. So if I were to draw my triangle here to my foot here and back, that's what you want. You do not want it in parallel because you will not have support to get up into the lunge. So in a triangle position between the heels, hand, and here is ideal to move into the lunge. So I'm going to go into that position where I swept the leg through here. Now I'm going to hinge. So I'm going to tighten up. I'm in a nice stable position. I'm going to tighten up my core, keep punching to the ceiling. I can push a little bit here, but I'm going to lateral hinge into a lunge position. Now, when I'm in the lunge position, I can take my eyes and look forward instead of looking at the bell. I'm going to bring my legs into a lunge. I like to tuck the rear toe behind me so I can get up because this is a kind of a dead lunge where I don't have any momentum. And I'm going to step up into the parallel position with the feet. This is the halfway point. Coming back down, I'm going to slide my foot. I like to keep it close to the ground so I know where I'm at, especially with the heavier weight. Some people will take a big step, but then you're sacrificing a little bit of balance. So I'm going to moonwalk back till I feel stable. I'm going to keep my hand close to my body, slide down. I have to get back into that triangle. Now, depending on the ground, if you can windshield wiper by bringing that foot, pivoting on the knee and bringing the heel to heel, that's good. You can also step your front foot out, and now I'm in that position that's a little bit less grinding on the knee. I'll windshield wipe. Hand is here. Now I got to hinge. So I'm going to hinge, find the floor with my hand right in front of me. Common mistake is trying to find the floor without a frame of reference. You may miss and you might lose your core integrity. Other thing is too is sitting back on the leg. Now I just trap that leg and I can't kick it through. So I'm going to hinge, slide, find the floor. I'm going to walk my hand out a little bit so I have more room. Now I'm going to go back to that big bridge. Kick the hip through, cheek on the ground, forearm on the ground, and then through, bringing it back down. So that is the full get up there. I will do it in kind of real time. I'll go on my other side to give my left arm a break here. Generally speaking, a get up should take roughly 20 to 30 seconds to complete. If you're knocking them out fast and you're not really getting the full benefit of stability within the movement and really being conscious of what your body's doing and how well you're doing it. So I would take my time with this exercise. Weight-wise, you do not need a lot of weight. As I mentioned, you can go body weight, you can use a dumbbell, you can use a sandbag on the shoulder. Some of the movements obviously you won't have overhead. That's a good way if you have shoulder injuries to do the get up, is to have a bag on the shoulder. Now I'll kind of go in real time here. I'll bring the weight to me, so I'm in a fetal position, hand through, bring it over. I'm going to be safe and use my hand. Pull down, hand here, widen out, the same. Now my foot is about 1.5 away. I'm going to turn my toe out just a little bit. Now I'm going to roll cheek to cheek, stabilize. I'm going to get up on the hand, fingertip back, shoulder back. I'm going to bridge, sweep with a little bit of rotation in the hip into that triangle. So I want to feel pretty stable, but I can't stay here too long. I'm going to hinge into the lunge. Look forward now instead of at my bell. I'm going to tighten up, step, moonwalk back, down. I'm going to bring this leg out. You can windshield wipe, whatever one you want. Find my thigh, hinge, find the floor without dropping my glute onto my heel. I'm going to walk my foot out so I have space, kick through, cheek down, forearm down, and control down. So lastly, little tips. You want to look at the bell until you get into that lunge position. So that way you can focus on not moving around. If you start to move your head forward, the bell is going to want to travel with it. Lastly, if you do it correctly, you're kind of orbiting around the bell. So the bell is pointed upward and not moving much. I just did it really fast there, but it's not drifting far away. If you have a dumbbell, the same thing. Sandbag will be a little bit different because it's on your shoulder. So thank you for watching today. I also have this broken down into the quick tips series that I have. You can check that out. I'll throw a card up there too. But if you like the video, please like it down below. Also consider subscribing as we put a new video out every week. Again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.